What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Gooners Therapy. Dandagooner here, ready with another preview for you. This time, Arsenal versus Manchester City, a blockbuster game at the Emirates, 4:30. I cannot wait. It's a mouth-watering tie. At the time of recording, it's Friday evening. I've got 2 more sleeps, and then it's match day. We all know how match day feels, in particularly when you're playing such a big team like Manchester City in your own home ground. Last year, we all know what happened, 5-1. But listen, let's get into it. What formation are we going to play? We all know that it's going to be 4-3-3. But what lineup are we going to play? Mikel Arteta, my guy, Mikel Arteta, Super Mikel Arteta, has got some massive decisions to make regarding his team selection. Before we get into it, guys, if you could just take a second and hit the like button, hit subscribe. It's going to mean the world to us. We're a small channel. We're trying to get to the big 500 mark. So honestly, guys, it'll mean the world to us. But anyway, let's get into it. Arsenal versus Manchester City. Who's he going to start? Does he start Mosquera, who has been magnificent? And it's not like he's played no one. He's played against Liverpool, against Salah, against Ekitike. And in that game, all right, we lost 1-0, but it was from a set piece, from a free kick. Nothing he could do about it. Against Forest, he was unbelievable. Against Bilbao, wow, that's probably his best performance yet. But for me, if Saliba's fit, Saliba has to play. But listen, whatever happens, if we do not win this game, the Arteta outs, right? The people that are against Arteta, they are going to beat him with 1 or 2 sticks. One of the sticks says, you should have started Saliba. The other stick says, you should have started Mosquera. Whatever happens, right? So if Mosquera starts and Saliba's on the bench, and Mosquera has a bad game or makes an error leading to a goal, or we just draw the game for whatever reason and he doesn't have an in particularly good game, that is it. It's Arteta's fault. It's all Arteta's fault. Why did you start Mosquera? He's too young. If Saliba's even half fit, I'd play him. But those fans would have been the same ones that when we played Liverpool were blaming it all on Mikel Arteta for Saliba's injury. At the time, everyone thought it was a 6-week injury. And even the guy who I do my show with, I call him Negative Dan for a reason. He was sitting there telling me it's Arteta's fault. Why is he playing Saliba when he knew he had a little knock in the warm-up? Why is he playing him? But had we not played him, right, and Mosquera would have started from the start and we'd have lost by like 3 goals or something, why is he playing him? He should have played a 50% Saliba. This is how it is. This is how Arteta out fans think. They will find anything, any stick. There's so many sticks out there that they can beat him with, and that's what they'll do. So guys, make your judgment first, yeah? Who do you want to start? Let me know in the comments, Saliba or Mosquera. And first, what I'm going to do, is I'm going to show you just this little clip from Arteta's interview, just so you can get an idea on the fitness. I'm sure most of you have watched it. It's only a quick clip. I'll just put it on quickly. Here we go.
White, Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard missed the trip to Spain in midweek. Have they got any chance of featuring on Sunday?
If there is a chance, would be after tomorrow's session, because they haven't done anything yet, so we will have more information tomorrow.
And just to check, Mikel Merino and Victor Gyökeres picked up head injuries on Tuesday. Are they absolutely fine?
Yeah, they are fine. They will be available.
William Saliba, an unused substitute on Tuesday. Can we expect him to come straight back into the starting 11 on Sunday?
Let's see. Obviously, he's been carrying an injury. He's done really well to be available for the last match, and yeah, he's really pushing it. So we'll decide tomorrow what's the best start.
So as you can see, he's asked first about Odegaard, Ben White and Saka. And interestingly, he says that none of them have trained yet, but they could train tomorrow. Now, for me, that's probably more than likely just mind games with Pep. He doesn't want him to know. He wants him to think, oh, maybe Saka could be fit. Odegaard could be fit. Yeah, look, Saka, they could be on the bench. I don't see any of them starting. Ben White wouldn't be starting anyway because Timber has been sensational. But, it's a good option to have if we're trying to defend the lead. To bring Ben White on. But yeah, I think it's going to be, I think Saliba will start because he was an unused sub and he said he's trained. So I think Saliba's going to start. So I'll just get the lineup here, which I think that he's going to go with. So I think he's going to go with Saliba, Gabriel. Obviously it could be Saliba or Mosquera depending on fitness, but I think it'll be Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, who's been excellent as well. Look, the back 5 picks itself, Timber and David Raya, of course, in goal. In midfield, this is what I think he's going to do. I think he's going to want to go on the front foot. And I think we're going to see Eze in that midfield role. I think we're going to see Zubimendi, Rice and Eze. I'm hoping that's what he goes with. That's what I would go with. I think that's what most of us would go with. And I want to see Martinelli on the left, and I think he will. I think Martinelli's Arteta's guy, but I think he's even lost patience with him. But listen, when you have competition with places, it naturally ups your game, right? When you're playing week in, week out, you know, and you know that there's no, I know he's had Trossard and they sort of fought for the place, but now it's a whole different kettle of fish. You've got three players, Eze, Trossard, Martinelli, three of them fighting for the one position. Even Madueke, when Saka's fit, he's going to be fighting for the left wing spot because Saka's going to be playing on the right. That's four players, man. That's competition. That's what you need. That's how you win Premier League titles, right? And Arsenal are ready to win the Premier League under Mikel Arteta. Anyway, I'm just, as you can see, I'm gassed right now when I'm doing this video. But obviously, the other lineup you could go with, I'll just get it up here on your screens, guys, is the midfield, probably that the majority of the fan base are not so keen on seeing. Now listen, see me, I wouldn't mind. I trust Mikel. Whatever Mikel does, he sees it in training every single day, you know. Listen, as fans, we always want to see the more attacking players on, the more flair players on. So I would rather us go for it with Eze, you know, in a more attacking role. Obviously, Marino can play attacking. He's just scored a hat-trick for Spain playing in an attacking midfield role. So, you know, he can do the job, but he could go with a midfield three of Marino, Rice and Zubimendi. Of course, we could see Mosquera slip in for, well, not forcibly because he's been playing, but we could see him in the back line. I think the front three is going to be, I can't see a different front three than Madueke, Gyökeres and Martinelli. I just can't. After Martinelli's performance, coming on without scoring that great goal and getting an assist. But listen, Trossard also got, a goal and assist. So look, this is the situation we're in, guys. I wouldn't mind who he starts on the left, because I'll just get you up this other formation, this other lineup. The third one he could go with. He could go with Eze on the left. The same lineup he went with against Forest, Eze on the left, Madueke on the right, and they were good against Bilbao as well. So he could go with that same trusted one so far. We've won 2 games, we've scored 5 goals. Eze got an assist in the first game. Madueke's been excellent in both games. Gyökeres, of course, scored against Forest. So he could go with Madueke, Eze, Gyökeres, and then in the middle, keep it the same, Declan Rice, Marino, and Zubimendi. Easily possible. Listen, any lineup he goes with, I'm going to be excited, you know, because I'm going to be excited about this game. And I trust Mikel Arteta. And listen, there's not a lot between these players now, you know. It's all going to come down to, what team we're playing, what players in form, because there's thin margins between these players. Everyone keeps banging on about how much better Eze is. You know, maybe as a purist footballer, of course he's better than Martinelli. But if we're talking about on the left, which is where he played, by the way, he played on the left of a free behind the striker, Eze. So he never actually played centre attacking midfield. I'm not sure where everyone's getting this from. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. For me, when I watch Palace play, he played on the left of a free, you know, behind the other, there's 2 strikers or the 1 striker. But yeah, look, I'm hoping to see him in the middle. I know he's played there before, but prominently I've seen him play on the left side of a free, but not an out and out left winger. Touching on that, I'm just going to play you this clip here from Mikel Arteta, because they asked him about the viral clip that's been going out with him screaming at Eze to get right onto onto the left, right on the touchline is what I'm trying to say here, guys. Forgive me. Anyway, I'll just play the clip here quickly when they asked him about it in the press conference.
Tuesday night, lots of people picked up on a clip of you sort of screaming at Eze to come out to the touchline and really hug the touchline and let Calafiori sort of go into the central areas. Is that sort of how you sort of envisage Eze playing here, much more on a sort of touchline winger than someone coming inside that maybe we've been used to when he was at Crystal Palace?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Just on Eze and Tuesday night, there was a clip doing the rounds on social media where you were sort of spotted really calling him to get to the touchline and stay tight to the touchline and let Calafiori to sort of move inside. Is that the sort of your vision for Eze, more as a touchline winger than someone coming inside?
No, depending what the position does. Is one space or another? It's never the same, because the space and the difficulty for the opponent will be in different things in relation to what they want and what we want to accomplish with that.
Does it depend on the fullback he's got behind him at times as well? Say Calafiori likes to come inside, but if Hincapié, who we know looks like he's more of a overlapping fullback.
Yeah, defending where that 9 is defending, especially if it's our left or right side, the behavior of that winger when the ball is in the opposite side, the attacking midfielder, ours, especially if it's higher or deeper, it's quite a lot of things to consider.
So as you can see, they asked Mikel Arteta, like, is this the only position you see for Eze? Is that where you want him to be really out wide? And Arteta just answers a silly question, really. He asks him to repeat it, probably because it's such a silly question. Of course, he's going to want him to play in different roles and in different moments. You're not always going to want your wingers to be right out on the left. You know, you're going to want them to come in at certain times, you know, and you're going to want them to be very wide certain times, depending on what opponent you're playing, depending on what defender you've got behind you. If he's got Skelly or Calafiori or Henapke, your game's always going to be different. These players have to adapt now, you know. And listen, I don't think Eze's only going to be played on the left wing. I think he's going to be played in a variety of positions. You look at the way Arteta utilises players. You look at Marino. Who thought we'd ever see him play up front? He's played up front. He's played midfield. He's played as a DM. He's played as a centre attacking midfielder. We've seen Timber go centre back, right back. Ben White's done right back, centre back. He joined as a centre back. He became a right back. Skelly was a midfielder in the academy. He's now a left back. Calafiori plays centre back and left back. So I think Arteta likes to have players that can play in a variety of positions. And as my dad always said to me, you know, Daniel, these days in modern day football, you don't play at one position. And he said that to me 10 years ago, and he was bang on the money. You know, I remember LMA games and I used to buy Lilian Thuram and Jamie Carragher because they could play right back and centre back. And, you know, if it made my squad, if I had an injury at right back, I could slip him in there and vice versa with centre back. So it really helps. And now look, modern day managers, they want players that can play in more than one position. And it makes sense. It really does make sense when you've got someone who can cover two positions. But yeah, it's going to be such a big game. It's just, I mean, last season was 5-1. It was the first, it was the only game I missed last season. Can you imagine that? It was my son's birthday. Watched it indoors though, and we're still absolutely buzzing, but buzzing to be going this season. I cannot wait. Me and Dan, who I do the show with, I call him Negative Dan, we'll be there at the Emirates in attendance. Cannot wait. And look, let's move on to Man City now, right? Because they've just had two top solid performances. I thought they were really good against Manchester United. First 20 minutes weren't so good, but they grew into the game. Phil Foden looks like he's back. He is going to be a danger man. You know, it was only a matter of time before he started performing again. Of course, last season was just like a blip for City. And, you know, look, it was a long old season and Foden had been playing a lot of football, but he looks to me like he's back. He always scores in the Manchester derby. He was excellent in that game, getting a goal. The assist for Haaland against Napoli was nothing short of magnificent. Haaland looks like a man possessed. You know, that's why I think it's key. That's why I would definitely go with Saliba. If he's fit, if he's 70% fit, Saliba and Gabriel, man. And then if we've got to bring Saliba off after 60 or 70 minutes and bring Mosquera on, then brilliant. I would definitely be going with Saliba and Gabriel. Let me know in the comments, guys. We're getting subscribers, we're getting likes. It's really picking up now, but I need comments. I want engagement from you guys. So to all my subscribers, to anyone who's watching this video, drop me a comment. Let me know, who would you start? Who are you starting on the left? Do you want to see Martinelli play? Do you want to see Trossard? Or do you want to see Eze? Do you want to see Eze in the midfield role? You know, let me know in the comments, guys, who you think should be starting. If Saka is fit, does Saka go straight in the team of a Madueke? Listen, if Saka's fit, he plays for me. No matter what, he always plays, right? But I can't see him being fit for this game. I could see him maybe at best being on the bench. But I'm going to get City's lineup that they've gone with for the last two games. So as you can see here, Kushnikov at right back, Nico O'Reilly at left back. Of course, the two main guys at centre back. And then in the midfield, you've got Reinders and Rodri. Of course, Rodri is a massive boost for them having Rodri back. They just look like such a much better team with him in it. No coincidence that they're playing much better now already. You know, 5 goals scored in the last 2 games. They haven't conceded a goal. Phil Foden, right back in form. Just talking about this now is getting me a little bit scared, I'm not going to lie. But Foden, and then of course Doku, who's been outstanding. If you haven't seen his goal against Napoli, go and watch it. Now he has been drifting. He's going to play on the left, of course, as you can see here. But he has been absolutely unbelievable. He's been drifting into midfield, and I think Zubimendi could have his work cut out for him. Rice is really going to have to cover some ground because Doku looks really sensational at the moment. He's adding a goals and assists to his game now. So, yeah, and of course, the big man, Haaland up front, Foden will be in the middle, and Bernardo Silva, who's been really good as well of late, is going to be starting for me. I think he's going to be on the right. I think that's how it's been. They kind of mix it up, but I think it's Foden who's been more centre, and then on the left, Doku, and on the right, Bernardo Silva, and Haaland up front, the guy, I don't want to hear anyone ever compare Isaac to him. Until Isaac's got like 300 goals or whatever it is Haaland's got at this young age of 23 or 24 or whatever he is, then we can start comparing them. When he's won trebles or when he's won league titles, then we can compare them. Until then, Liverpool fans, Newcastle, whoever wants to say it, and I don't want to hear this term, he's a better footballer. Listen, they're both strikers, and Haaland is the superior striker to Isaac. Sorry, I just had to get that out there because it winds me up. But yeah, look, it's clear to see where we need to target Man City. It's going to be, no disrespect to the lad, but it's going to be Nico Riley and Kushnikov. They're both young players. I'm sure they're going to be great players. Pep seems to pick great players, but right now they're not great players. They're young players. They're fragile, they're vulnerable, and we need to get at them. And I think Madueke is going to give him a torrid time. Nico O'Reilly, I think he's going to, honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing Madueke cook on that right side against Nico O'Reilly. And then, of course, I think it's got to be Martinelli. But listen, if it's Eze, great. I don't know. I just feel like something just tells me Martinelli should start this game. But if not, it could be Eze. Great bit of trickery. And I think both of them, whoever starts, even if it's Trossard, whoever starts on that left, I think is going to have that Kushnikov on toast. And I think that's where we win the game, down the wings in this game. And I'm really hoping Gyökeres can score. Really, really hoping Victor Gyökeres can score, because listen, he needs a big goal to get that hoodoo off his back, not scoring in a big game. I think it'll be excellent. And I think he scores. I really do. I think he scores. 2 days, man. I cannot wait for this game. I'm sure every Arsenal fan is feeling the same as me right now. Let me know, guys, your comments. Let me know, what do you think the score's going to be? I'm going to put it out there. I think it's going to be 3-1 to Arsenal. I think it's going to be a great game of football. I think City are going to play. We're going to play. This is another thing. I'm going to prove everyone here, Arsenal will be on the front foot. Anyone who says that we're negative, and I don't use the word negative, I say cautious. We're cautious, probably 2 games this season, and that is Manchester City away, and that is Liverpool away. I'd say we go in a bit cautious, right? Which makes sense to me. Never have I gone to the Emirates ever and not seen us on the front foot, especially in these big games. So you will see Arsenal on the front foot, 100%. And I just can't wait for this game. I really cannot wait. Of course, we're facing Manchester City, so there's no guarantee we're going to win. I really feel like we're going to win. Momentum's with us. Of course, they've got a bit of momentum now as well. So it's going to be a great game. Of course, tomorrow, Saturday, I'm hoping Everton can do something. Come on, Everton, do something against Liverpool. You never know. Grealish might cook, and they could come up with something. It's a derby at the end of the day, so you never know. But guys, listen, thanks again for watching. Please, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I think we're on 419 subscribers right now at the time of recording. Help us get to 500, please, guys. It's going to mean the world to us. And listen, guys, for you that don't know, we're going live every single Monday, 8:30 every Monday. Me and Dan, positive Dan, negative Dan, Arteta in, of course, that's me. Arteta out, him. He might not be if we go on Smoke City, though, you know what I mean? So look out for it. 8:30, guys. It's a really good show. We have special guests on. We get into everything Arsenal. Even if you ain't an Arsenal fan, we go through all the Premier League games and all the big talking points and the rest of it. So that's Monday at 8:30, and we'll be live. So I could appreciate it if you could tune in, guys. But yeah, thanks for watching. Come on, you Arsenal!